Welcome back to this week's YouTube Live and the podcast. My name's RD. Whew, we made it midweek. It's still 1,000 degrees outside. I hope y'all doing good. Hope y'all having a good Wednesday. Man, I'm ready for summertime to be over with. I am so ready for waterfowl season, like unreal ready. It won't be much longer. September, early teal is rolling around real soon. So I can't wait. I mean, I honestly, there's some big events coming up I'm going to talk about tonight. Um, I can't wait to fill y'all in on a secret that I've been keeping. And it's not my deodorant secret. Strong enough for a woman, pH balance. What is it? pH balance for a woman, strong enough for a man. That's something like that. I don't know. I ain't seen the commercials in a while, but that's how much of a secret I'm keeping to the channel, and I can't wait. We're gonna talk about this tonight. Can't wait to make some videos on that and get that going. It's definitely something new to the channel. So let's get to it. If you are anywhere near Indianapolis, Ohio area, you need to go ahead and get prepared for some bad weather coming y'all's way tonight for sure, especially anywhere near Indianapolis, Louisville. All that area is definitely in the area for get some really bad storms. For once, we got some thunder and lightning pretty early this morning. Around lunchtime was pretty bad, and it kind of faded out. But for our people down in the lower parts of the country, I'm going to throw this up on the screen here somewhere. There we go. So, Louisiana, Alabama, y'all got this storm twirling around down there off the Gulf of America. So did they rename it in this app? I wonder if they renamed it. It doesn't even say. Did they rename it Gulf of America or Gulf of the USA? Anyway, if you in New Orleans, you're either wet or going to be wet. So Florida, this is going to continue on up into Memphis, Little Rock. It has shifted a little bit, but there's some pretty wicked weather going on. I don't know if y'all been watching the weather, but it is crazy the 1,000 years floods that's been going on. New York yesterday got flooded. I mean, it is unreal the flood warnings that have gone out in the last week, 2 weeks. Obviously, Texas. Florida got 12 inches the other night in one particular area. I mean, it's crazy. Zoom up on this storm that's coming through Indianapolis. Now, there's some heavy storms in there. Washington. I mean, look at that. Harrisburg. That is, you should have been already seeking shelter. But for us down in the south, it's kind of quiet right now. I think our chances of some storms are going to be Friday. So there's definitely some weird weather going on. I definitely hope that this rain is going to help our waterfowl season. Texas, Oklahoma, all these areas out here that hadn't got a lot of rain has been getting a lot of rain, so I'm sure their duck season is going to be pretty amazing. So I don't know. It's going to be definitely a very interesting upcoming waterfowl season, because what I'm reading is it's going to be a lot of cold weather. So hopefully this rain can fill in some of these dried out ponds and reservoirs, and I don't know. We shall see what that comes about when it gets closer to waterfowl season. One new thing that I got to the channel, I recorded a video of unboxing it. I have not recorded a video of putting it together yet. This is something really cool that I can't wait to put together for two reasons. I think, one, it's going to be fun. Two, I think it's going to help my son beyond imagine. So what I have in my hands here is the instruction manual for the Real Stock Pro version 3 Black Series, and this is a controller for a VR headset. And I'm gonna put it up here. I'll pull up the website too, but that's it right there. This mimics your shotgun. Literally on the next to the last page, it shows you how to trace your shotgun and make this mimic the weight, the feel, and the length of your shotgun. This is for sporting clays, hunting, bird hunting, clay shooting, all kind of different clay events. You got trap, and not only do you get to play this game in virtual reality, you get to play it with your friends, with people online. All the comments that I've been reading about it, it dramatically improves your shooting. Now, how can that be? One, like I said, it weighs the exact same amount, same way as your regular shotgun. If you ever shot skeet, which would be in the circle skeet, and trap, it is pretty much repetitive. If you could get that repetitive motion down, you will do good in skeet and trap. Now, sporting clays is totally different. Sporting clays is mostly like in the woods. A lot of times they move the machines around. You never know how fast it's going to go. You never know where it's coming from. Stuff like that. That is sporting clays. In this game, there is a sporting clay, I want to say mode, but there's all kinds of stuff. And I literally, all I have done was take it out of the box, and the quality that this company, and the company is called Texture VR, texturevr.com. It is a real stock. I'm talking about the foregrip is wood engraved, the butt stock. Right here, the butt stock has where you can adjust the comb and your cheek position. The rubber on the butt stock is completely just like your shotgun. I mean, you literally get the length of pull to match. So I can't wait to start recording this. Like I said, I got a video of me unboxing it. If you could say what top quality materials could you use, this company done it. I mean, there's nothing cheap about it. Looking at the game, there are some cheaper versions online, and this one 100% beats the competition. So look forward to seeing more videos from this as I build it, as I attempt to play VR. AJ, but my son has a MetaQuest 3S, and the controllers and everything works on this stock. So Definitely can't wait. So it's called Clay Hunt VR is the game. Um, what I've been reading online, it is the real deal. So everybody that I talked to that already has one of these said that their shooting, their accuracy has greatly improved. So it can't do nothing but help. So I saw some interesting facts today that I like to always look at, what went on today. So something that happened today on July 16, 1779, the assault on Stony Point. So this was during the American Revolutionary War. This took place at nighttime. This was a raid. So the British fortified Stony Point right at the Hudson River. So Hudson River, up towards New York, where the airplane went down in the Hudson River. What was that, about 6, 7, 8 years ago? But the British force had the Hudson River occupied since May of 1779, and they were controlling the river traffic and blocked American crossing at the King's Ferry. So the Americans had a plan. Washington ordered General Mad Wayne with approximately 1,300 light infantry. So the key word there is the light infantry. So their attack was at nighttime with unloaded muskets and fixed bayonets only to preserve the element of surprise. So they attacked them in the dark with nothing in the guns, just strictly the fixed bayonets. I thought that was pretty interesting. In under 30 minutes, the American forces breached the British defense, and then the captain, lieutenant, whoever that was, led the charge and cut down the British colors. Wayne was grazed in the head, but insisted on being carried into the fort. I wonder what he was grazed by, because if they wasn't using any ammo at that point. Pretty interesting. So that was on this day in 1779. So today it says the Stony Point is a preserved in the New York State historical site, complete with a museum, battlefield. Says you can tour the place. I wonder how much is going on. I know right now to get tickets to go see the Statue of Liberty, you better plan ahead for that. Thought that was pretty interesting. Also, on July 16, 1945, there may be a few people old enough watching this to know what happened that day. But the first atomic bomb test, Trinity, took place. So the event marked a moment in weapon history where the first explosion of the nuclear bomb in New Mexico was part of the Manhattan Project. So today, in 1945, the first atomic bomb was tested. That's about all the good facts that I saw outdoors and hunting related. If you are in South Carolina or nearby South Carolina, next weekend is going to be an event that I am going to. I am going to the PD Outdoor Classic. Is next Saturday, the 25th. Well, it might be the 26th. I'm going on a Saturday. Let's see what that day it is. I think Saturday is the 26th. Yep, Saturday is the 26th. So they're going to be open the 25th, 26th, 27th. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It is the PD Outdoor Classic. It's going to be at the Florence Center. I've never been to the Florence Center. So it's supposed to be some live animal demonstrations and pig racing. They got a pretty good ad here that talks about what's going to be going on. I guess it can't play while I'm talking because there is sound there. So they're supposed to be hunting, fishing, camping. I know there's going to be a lot of ATVs, four-wheelers. Looks like a pretty good event. Again, I've never been to it, so this is going to be my first time going. Hopefully, if y'all around South Carolina and you see me out there, holler at me for sure. That's where I plan to be. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday. I just want to go ahead and put that out there so people know about it and can plan about it. Plan their weekend. If you into hunting and fishing and camping, they supposedly going to have it. So let's see, how much are tickets? Buy tickets. They are $13.50. $13.15. So it looks like they're using Ticketmaster. I'm sure they probably going to have something at the door. I would imagine. I'm not going to say that. I'm just going to say I would imagine they would have something at the door. Another event that's going to be coming up at the end of the month. It's actually August the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. But, we're halfway in this month of July. I mean, how crazy is that? But coming up at the end of the month, 1st of August, is the Ducks Unlimited Expo. This one looks to be a really good event.
Get ready, outdoor enthusiasts. The Ducks Unlimited Expo, presented by Purina Propane, is landing in Memphis August 1st through 3rd, 2025 at the Renaissance Convention Center. Experience the ultimate celebration of hunting, conservation, and the outdoor lifestyle. Gear up with the latest products, learn from experts, and connect with people just like you. Join us for this historic event August 1st through 3rd at the Renaissance Convention Center. Ducks Unlimited Expo, Memphis 2025.
So, I plan on going to that. I can't let all the details out the bag because I told you I got a secret going on, and I hope to reveal it sometime around in there. So, I can't wait. And I greatly appreciate every single one of y'all to tune in and make this channel grow, make the podcast grow. Everything seems to be growing, and the podcast. So if you listen to it on podcast, definitely subscribe. If you listen to it on podcast, if you're on YouTube, I greatly appreciate all the support, and definitely hit that thumbs up button. That's right, Jay. That one in South Carolina isn't too far away from the Darlington. There's a couple of big gun stores in Darlington. So yeah, there is a Browning gunsmith there in Darlington. That is correct. Jay, that'd be a good opportunity for you to cross the border and come on into South Carolina. But like I was saying, I greatly appreciate everybody that tunes in on this channel every week. Even if you come back and watch the videos after they have, already no longer live, and watch them, I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. There's a lot that's coming to the channel. Like I said, I just can't release some stuff yet, but it won't be long. Like maybe August the 1st, y'all will know about it. I won't be keeping y'all in the dark too long, but I'm excited. Like, schoolgirl giddy excited. So, but there ain't much going on right now. My millet is looking pretty good. September the 1st would be dove season in South Carolina. My millet is looking pretty good. It's ready to be cut. So, I mean, we say September. That's a whole nother month away, pretty much a month and a half, really. But when September gets here, that means it's dove season. That means it's early teal season. And then right around the corner is deer season. So once September gets here in the South, there's so many outdoorsmen. I would say there's so many wives that won't see their husbands. I'm not sure if that's a bad thing. I'm sure some of them are ready for them to go back into the woods as it is. But yeah, I'm super stoked. I'm thinking about this year disking around a pond that I typically hunt. Millet usually has about a 2-month growing, especially when it gets its, like, the head of the seeds on there. I'm thinking about this year planting some millet and some wheat around a pond that I hunt. I've never planted it before, and I'm thinking about 2 months before the season starts. We do have a small season that starts in November, so I'm thinking around September, which September, maybe late September, early, I don't know. Let's see. September, October, then November. Yeah, so somewhere around September. That would give me 2 months of growing. I'm thinking about disking this area up and planting some millet, some Japanese millet, and some wheat, because September is still usually pretty daggone warm here in the South. That should give it plenty of opportunity to grow. September is usually right around the time that we usually get hurricanes. So there should be plenty of water. It should start cooling off a little bit. We still have a lot of hot days, but that's what I plan to do this year. I'm going to disc it up pretty good and see what comes about. Will it help? I don't know. Is it going to hurt anything other than time? I got plenty of millet and wheat. Maybe it attracts some geese or something. I'm not rightly sure. But that's my plans for this coming September. That should give it easily 2 months for that to grow, head up. So definitely going to be doing that. I got a new video coming out Saturday. It's a very interesting video. My buddy Jay, which is in the comments down there, he comes on the show a lot too. I met Jay down in his hometown, and we toured the Kicks Choke manufacturer. Really awesome video. Very interesting on how they make a choke. The video pretty much starts on how it's in the machine, how it gets tooled, cut, front, back, threads, the logo or the name of Butt Kicker, Kicks Our Flyer, stuff like that on it. Very interesting video. So went down there, we met with Jake. So can't wait. I can't wait for Saturday to come for y'all to see that. So if you ever wonder how your choke was made, you're gonna find out. So, and there's a little background history on how the shop became a shop. It was just a grandfather's machine shop, how they were making parts for other pieces of manufacturing, and basically they moved over into the choke field. But very interesting video that's going to be coming out Saturday. So if you own a Keats choke and you ever wanted to know what your choke looked like as it was coming through the factory, this video will definitely shed some light on that for sure. What else I got? I got a couple more videos. I definitely got the video boxing of this real stock for the VR headset. Compiled that. I got a steel load that I'm working on. This is a 2 3/4 inch steel load. Y'all know me, I don't like steel. I don't care to shoot steel shells, but if you haven't seen bismuth prices and TSS prices, they are through the roof. Pretty much every every bismuth company is saying, hey, you better get what you can because there ain't gonna be none. If you look at some of these reloading websites that sell bismuth, yeah, it's not cost efficient to reload bismuth at the moment. TSS, if you're loading TSS in a duplex with steel, it's still expensive, but a lot of people's going to be shooting steel this year. I know Keith from Salt Creek is kicking up some steel. Right now, the terminology that you are hearing a lot of in the steel world is slower velocities, slower feet per second. I know that just pattern testing and talking to people, they always say the faster that the pellets are coming out of the barrel, the faster they're going to slow down. So if you're shooting like we do here in the South on passing shots with wood ducks and they 40, 50 yards out and you're shooting something really fast, well, it's going to slow down really, really fast by the time it gets to the birds. They're saying slow is pretty much steady. Pretty much the steel that was shot in the 80s when lead was banned is not the same steel that we have now. We got better material of steel. The density is definitely changed. The wads are changed. The powder's changed. So is steel going to make a comeback? God, I hope not. But is it what we're going to have to shoot this year? Probably unfortunate. That ain't even a word. But I just made it up. That's how bad I don't want to shoot steel. I have about probably about a half a box to a box of bismuth left. I have a handful of TSS, and I told the wife the other day, I said in the next month I will be ordering some TSS for reloading, so I will get my TSS duplex load back up and going. But I'm kind of holding out because I want to test that. I want to test some TSS, some bismuth that I have, and my steel TSS duplex in a new shotgun that it is on its way that I can't tell y'all about, but it's going to be new and amazing, and I can't wait to shoot it and make videos, but I also can't tell you about it yet, so sorry. But something's new's coming to the channel. It's going to go bang and be in camo. And like brand new. As in brand new that nobody really has them in stock. That's how new. So, that's all I can say. can't give out any hints yet, but the name of it, the company, may or may not start with my name of my channel. So there's a lot of hints going on there. But back to the steel load. I got the video. It's already made. I probably will drop it next week. Like I said, Kicks is this weekend. Next week is the steel load. It's a 2 3/4 number 3 steel load. Yeah, that's about all I can say about it. Yeah, it'll work. It literally has a kick of like a dove load. I mean, it is like hardly no kick to it at all. For one, it's 2 3/4, and I love shooting 2 3/4 inch shells because they don't have the recoil. Your second follow-up shot, your barrel's not muzzle jumped. Honestly, early season, me personally, I don't think you need anything more than 2 3/4. Later in the season, once the birds start getting fat on them for the winter time, maybe 3 inch, but 3.5 is completely not needed. So this 2 3/4 inch steel, I tested it at 40 yards. That's about all I can say. Since I've made that video, I have made some more. Like I said, these were number 3s. I made some with number 2s, and I made some with number 6s. All with the same 2 3/4, the same 1 1/8 ounce load. So we'll see. I'm gonna pattern test them when I get that new product. So I want to compare. When you messing with reloading, like every component that you change, something changes. If you change pellet size, pattern changes. If you change wad material, pattern changes. You change 1 or 2 grains of powder, pattern change. Everything has some type of change with it. If you're going up in the powder, going down in the powder, something is going to change. And it's a complete balance of how much powder do I need to get the best pattern. So the first video is literally the first time I shot this shell. Since then, I have set up a third reloader on my workbench. So it is now dedicated to steel only. In the video, I was measuring out the powder by hand, and as I go along, now that I got my third loader, I can now put a bushing in there and get the same powder over and over and over again. But when you're testing these loads out, you want to be slow about it. You want to be consistent with the powder. So the first shell in the video is with number 3 steel. I'm pretty sure it's zinc coated steel. The pellets look pretty daggone good. I had a few boxes of weird steel over the years where I've pattern tested shells, and I had some shells that were just trash. I mean, just trash. Sometimes when you get some shells, especially the steel ones, like I'm talking about trash grade steel, you take the shell and you shake it, and you literally can feel the pellets moving around in there. They're not going to pattern good. I have been able to tell since I've been reloading. Like I said, everything that you do has consequences on the way that pattern looks. If the pellets are moving around in there, that affects pressure. If you need a card shot, affects pressure. If your crimps look like this at the end, that changes the pressure. The gapping of everything to do with that shell changes something. And the more you can get it consistent, the better you're going to be. So, the first time I shot it was in this video. So now that I've duplicated it, I hope to now try it in a different gun, try it in a different choke. Shotgun shells are very, very, I learned this over the years. And it's mostly just buying ammo and making videos with it. But there is certain ammo that works really good with one brand of gun, with one brand of shotgun chokes. And when you find that amazing pattern and you can do it over and over again on paper, don't break that up. Like me shooting skeet, I found one load that my semi-auto loves. It never jams. It can bust some clays. Don't change it up, because what I found at the very beginning of shooting skeet, I would just go down to the local store. I would buy the it was the cheapest. The economical 4 boxes that you can get in one big box at the big box store, really cheap. That's what I was buying. And then when I go to Walmart, I pick up another box. It may be brand A, it may be brand B, it could be brand C. And a lot of this was during COVID too, where you were lucky to get brand C or brand A, or I was just buying whatever I could buy off the shelf. And a couple of times I bought some Winchester AAs and didn't even pay no attention to them, and they were the super handicap light loads at like 900 feet per second. I think it's like 980. It's under 1,000. I can promise you, that's not going to cycle in a semi-auto unless you just got something that can cycle anything. That ain't going to cycle in a semi-auto. Them are made for single shotguns. They're made for over and under, side by side, stuff like that. So what I learned was, yeah, I could shoot skeet. I could bust clays. Was I great? No. Am I still great? Probably also not, no. But am I getting better? Yes. So what I found was, when I was just buying brand A, brand B, and I was just shooting them, the feet per second was totally different every single time. I would go pour them in my little bag and just pull them out, put one in there, especially with skeet. If you're doing skeet in the circle, doing the game of skeet, the high house and low house never changes. The speed also never changes. It's all about repetitive. If you can remember, for one, follow through on the shot, and that's what I have to yell at myself most of the time. I want to catch up to the target, stop and pull the trigger, and I will shoot behind it every single time. That is one of my weaknesses of not following through. But if you can stand at station 4, 5, 6, and you know that, hey, I need to be 4 or 5 foot in front of that target when I pull the trigger, you're going to bust clays every single time. But if you're using brand A shell that's at 1,200 feet per second, and then you go from 1,300 and then back down to 1,000, you're not going to stay consistent. That is not consistent because it's not repetitive. It is 1 minute you're going to be in front of it, 1 minute you're going to be behind it. It's feet per second. So if one is going 1,100 feet per second and then you switch to 1,300, well, now you just went up 200 feet per second. And you're going to say, well, that's not that much of a difference. It is to somebody that doesn't shoot a lot. A pro, hey, you probably can get them marbles out there and they can bust clays because it's repetitive. They've been doing it every day. That's their job. They probably can side shoot it and make you look bad. But what happened to me was I started using the cheap shells. And what I noticed was after learning, especially once I started getting into reloading, and I would get the little catalogs or I would look online for reloading supplies, and especially with lead, you got cold steel, you got magnum steel, you got cold lead, you got magnum lead, you got all these variants of lead. And I'm like, why is there so many? And then when I went down that rabbit trail, there is a percentage of ammonium, I think that's exactly how you say it. The cheaper shells use like 3%. The better quality use 6%, and the higher grade pros use like 8-9%. Basically, the higher the percent is, the harder it hits. The lower one would be the more that lead can deform when it hits. It's softer lead. That's basically the part that makes the lead the strength. So if you're using them 3%, hey, you might be hitting the target. You might be hitting the doves. You might be seeing feathers fly off the dove and be like, what the heck? It looked like I just gave that dove a mohawk and he flies off. Well, the problem is you might be using cheap shells. Switch to something that hits harder and the stuff might become more consistent. And I learned that over the years of reloading. Better material equals better shots. And if I can make my reloading stations the same and repeat that over and over and over again, I stay consistent. Same way that I'm trying with a steel. I don't want to shoot it. I literally right here on the ground here is a case of Rios. Nothing against Rio. Rio makes some really good shells. I don't want to shoot steel. Bismuth is really close to shooting lead. I like to stay on the same consistency. Like I said, the leading. If you can lead a target, you learn to lead a bird. It all stays the same. But when you start shooting steel, your lead changes. As I was saying earlier with the lead, the same thing with bismuth. There's different qualities of bismuth, and especially TSS. When people say, hey, I'm shooting TSS, well, what does that mean? You have 13, you have 15, and you got 18. And that's just a percentage of how hard that TSS is. TSS is nothing to play around with. That is some hard hitting. If you can afford it, I highly recommend shooting TSS for turkey loads. Yes, a box will cost you a significant amount of price, but you only get so many turkeys per year. Unless you live in a state that's got a lot of turkeys. South Carolina, you got a 2-bird limit. Well, guess what? One box is going to last you 2 years, going and leave you one shell to go on into the 3rd year. And the chances of you shooting 2 birds in 1 year in South Carolina is pretty thin. So one box of TSS is probably going to last you multiple years. So I don't get it with these people that buy cheap ammo. It just blows my mind. You're going to buy, I mean, the cheap shotguns these days, $800. $900. Now we're starting to get into, some of these cheaper shotguns are now starting to hit the 1,000 price range. Average shotgun probably $1,200. Now some of the bigger names, they're pushing $2,000. Waders, I don't know, $200 to $300 easily. You putting all this money into stuff, and you're going out there with, I'll just shoot the stuff down here on the bottom. And will it work? Yeah, it'll work. Will you have cripples that you got to use one or two more shells on? Highly possible, especially with steel. I just rather pay a little bit more money and take a better chance. That's the same reason why I'm not into the sub gauges in South Carolina. Like some of these people are doing 28 and 410 and stuff like that. There's absolutely no way I would go hunting with a 410 waterfowl. We don't have enough birds for me to be like, oh, missed. Oh, I missed. Well, hey, that's my day. We might not see no more birds. I want to throw down every little pellet that I can, because there's not a whole lot of practice. Some of these people that hunt Arkansas and stuff and get piles and piles of ducks, they're used to shooting birds. We don't get that opportunity, especially in South Carolina, Georgia, parts of North Carolina. Some days we're lucky if we get a wood duck. So I want to go out there with the best stuff. If that's the case, why not just go out there with a slingshot? But definitely going to have that video coming out. Y'all going to see a lot more of the steel loading and steel loading from the reloading station. Like I said, I want to take this shell that I've been working with, make it better. It's a 2 3/4 inch. Again, it's not going to be taking 50 and 60 yard shots. This is for when I go to one particular pond that I have in mind. I probably take it there, because steel is great while it's decoying. If you get birds that decoy, all day long, steel's got you. But here in South Carolina, where the wood ducks are flying 40 miles per hour and have zero cares about decoying, you better be on your A game on them passing shots. But like I said, there's a lot of coming out in the channel. We stuck right now in between no hunting seasons. It's fishing season. It's really too hot right there at the moment to do that. It was over 100 degrees the other day. I'm telling you, I'll be glad when this heat is gone. For somebody that works in the air conditioning, I know that's probably even worse when you get off and you come out in that heat. But it is just miserably hot, especially with all the rain we're getting, which has been given high humidity. People out California, stuff like that, they don't know about the humidity. If you ain't never lived in the South, especially Georgia, South Carolina, Florida, where the humidity is crazy, y'all got to do it at least once in your life. Come to South Carolina. If you don't live in South Carolina, come to Charleston, South Carolina in the middle of July. You will experience probably all 4 seasons in one day. Rain, heat, humidity, and then cold at night. But oh yeah, I ain't even been paying attention down here. I actually forgot about it. I didn't even mean to move that. Was it last week? I think it was last week. The deer camera is back. I know that a lot of people come to the channel to watch the deer camera. Have there been deer? I don't know. It's been down. I saw some squirrels out there. And I see my bird feeder and my deer feeders empty. So who knows what's going on out there. But last week, right before going on the live, when I had the guest on, we had a heck of a storm. I'm talking about dive bombing, lightning everywhere. So undoubtedly, where that camera was mounted to the tree, I don't know if the tree got struck. I don't know if the line got struck. I don't know if it just struck nearby and ran to the camera. Couldn't tell you, but don't look at the screen. That may be a hint. Whatever you do, don't hint at what might be coming. But it took out my computer. Now, it was a brand spanking new computer. When I came home from work, it had flashy lights that shouldn't be flashy. It did not make any sounds. It did not make any noises. And the camera that I use is a power over Ethernet cable. If you don't know what that is, that's what most security cameras are. You have to give the camera power, and it's over Ethernet cord. So whatever happened, it also killed my power over Ethernet switch because it had no blinky lights. It's supposed to have blinky lights, and all the blinky lights were solid lights, and where there's not supposed to be any lights were lights. And yep, totally got that switch. So the camera is back. The camera is now back streaming. So after this live, I will be glad to start streaming the deer camera again. The computer is fixed. Downside is I have to rebuild the profiles and the scenes and everything for that camera. So it's going to take me a couple of days to get that camera and deer going back on that computer. But I had a UPS. UPS is supposed to keep everything powered up. But I mean, when I tell y'all it was lightning, it was crazy. That night was when I started the live. There was no internet. I was streaming off. I was streaming and broadcasting the live off my phone hotspot, which is not the best way to do it by any means, but the show must go on, and we still have power to the house, so that was the main thing. But we got internet halfway back through that show last week, and we're starting to rebuild. But if you wonder where the deer camera was, that's where it was. It was electrified. So, like I said, if you tuning in towards the end here, definitely be paying attention with the weather out there. There's a lot of weird stuff going on. Very weird weather patterns. So, like I said, down here, if you in Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, you definitely need to be paying attention to this swirling around down there. I don't think it ever made it up to a hurricane status, but it's definitely pulling a lot of moisture out of the Gulf. And if you're anywhere up here in this Ohio region tonight, you definitely need to have all your weather aware technologies going, because there is some wicked storms. Look at that right there. Let me zoom in on that because I just saw that. Look at that. That is intense. There's all kind of weather's going on there. Know what kind of ad that is. Won't want to go walking program. I need to do some walking. I need to lose some weight. Tornado warnings. Yeah, so there's all kind of stuff going up here. So if you're definitely in this area, be paying attention. Knoxville right now, that's pretty rough right there too. It's got some purple. Definitely got some purple going on there. Where is that at? I'm trying to get my bearings of. That's outside Knoxville. I was trying to find where Reelfoot Lake is. It's up there near Bristol. So if you're up there in Bristol area, man, that's gonna be some bad weather. Like I said, Friday afternoonish. I'm just gonna say afternoonish. If you are anywhere from like Knoxville, Chattanooga, down to Atlanta, Macon, and then back around this area here, Friday afternoon is when we're going to get some chances of storms. So probably around the time we're probably getting off work, probably. That's still like a day and a half out, so kind of hard to tell, but definitely Friday, if you're in this area of the viewing area, you're going to get hit with some storms. And if you're out here, hey Jeff, I was just fixing to say, and Jeff just popped in. Jeff, if I'm not mistaken, I think y'all got some pretty bad weather out towards y'all's way yesterday. I think, was it South Dakota or North Dakota? One of them had a lot of tornadoes yesterday. So yeah, pretty much everywhere's got bad weather. Other than Montana, maybe if you want to avoid some bad weather, maybe Montana might be the place to be. But I'm pretty sure South Dakota was yesterday that had that bad weather. I know there's a delay, so it might take him a little bit before he hears it. Hopefully he wasn't affected by any of them storms yesterday. But I know they were chasing tornadoes out here yesterday, and I know they were chasing tornadoes in Ohio yesterday. Just got back from South Dakota fishing. Trip and checked out the falls. Did you do any good? And the next question was, did you eat anything that tasted good? That's the main question. Did you taste anything good? On that subject of food, when we toured the Kicks Choke manufacturing, Jay took me to this hole-in-the-wall restaurant out in the middle of nowhere. Like, nowhere. If nowhere was a state, this would be the capital. And like, there was nothing. Really good restaurant. Man, they had all kind of desserts. Yeah, I didn't get none of that on recording, but it was like top-notch food. But if you missed just catching in, Saturday got a video from touring the Kicks Choke manufacturer. Really, really cool video. Really enjoyed visiting Jake down there and meeting up with Jay. It was a pretty cool day. Really bad storms that afternoon. Man, it was lightning like crazy in Georgia. This was probably 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago when we were down there, and boy is it crazy. Like I said, I don't get what's going on with the weather. I wonder if I could pull it up. Lightning strikes in the past week. That number was crazy, and the how many flash flood warnings that we have had so far this year is mind-blowing. Let's see here. That's NOAA's website. This is a weather map here, but this is not what I'm looking for. You know, sometimes you see stuff on your phone and wish you could save it. Like throughout the day, be like, oh, look, I ought to save that, and then forget about saving it to read later. Let's see. So all these 1,000-year floods. I mean, sometimes these words that news and weather people use, you just get tired of hearing about it. The 1,000 years. That's pretty much the new talking point. Maybe I ought to ask ChatGPT. Maybe it can Google the internet to find out. Let's see. Jeff said, I tried squid for the first time ever. Had some really good ice cream. How was that squid? I don't think I want no squid. So, New Mexico had deadly flash floods. That was on the 8th, July 8th. 3 fatalities. We all know about the Texas one. That was crazy. July 4th was the one in Texas. 130 plus fatalities. I don't even know how many is in that. The New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, which was the 14th and 15th, so yesterday's, there's 2 deaths on that. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I know I would say, over all the years of my life, I'm not going to count my childhood memories, because when you're a kid or even teenager, you're not really thinking about rain and the weather and stuff, but I don't recall in the past couple of years all these flash floods. It's definitely strange. That's not giving me what I want. Let's see if make it a little bit more clear there as I type that in. Nope, it still won't give me that. But I know I read the number and it was mind-blowing. Jeff said he needs a lot more rain. So it says a rough estimate of close to 1,000 flash flood warnings has been issued in the past 3 weeks. Hundreds of flash flood warnings per week. Yeah, so it's crazy. I don't, some of them numbers, sometimes I wonder if they exaggerate them a little bit, but you never know. But it's definitely, it seems like, typically, tornado season is upon us. hurricane season is coming, but it seems like this year is like rain season, like massively amount of rain season. Like today at lunchtime, come home, nothing. Next thing I know, thunder and lightning, and it's raining so hard that the gutters on my house can't keep up. Like, there is no trees around my house, so there is no leaves in my gutters, and the gutters can't keep up. And when I walked outside, after it stopped raining, I was going back to work. I've never seen a puddle of water up under our metal carport building, whatever it is. The whole driveway section there is gravel. And when I say it's gravel, it's at least 6 inches of, maybe 8 inches of gravel. Because I put it down. I know how thick the gravel is. It was holding water, like standing water. And water don't usually stand in gravel because gravel can't hold back water because all the cracks between the pieces. But it rained so hard. I mean, I don't even know how much we got in that amount. Unless you got one of them electronic devices that measure rain, I don't know if you can measure it here in the past couple of weeks in the South, because I mean, you literally would have to be dumping it multiple times a day to be able to keep up with the rainfall that we've been getting. Jeff said, I didn't see a lot of baby ducks. They must have had a great late hatch. I hope that's the case. I know we're going to find out here shortly, because Canada, they'll be starting to hunt in the next month or two. This is a very interesting here. Check this storm out. Throw this back up on the screen. Over near Garden City, Dodge City. What is that? That would be Oklahoma. Nope. That is Kansas. Is that Kansas? Yeah. Check that out. What's that? That is intense. So if you, well, by the time anybody hears that, it's probably too late for me. But that right there is intense. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, everywhere you look, purple. And if you look on the scale here, now granted, this ain't the best radar scale by any means. White is more intense. But, I mean, regardless of where you look, I mean, it's just everywhere. It's crazy. And you know, we want rain, but we don't want buckets at one time. Or that's where the flash flood comes in, where it's just buckets of rain piled on top of each other. It doesn't give the ground time to soak that in and actually use it. There's another flash flood warning. I mean, it's just crazy. I just don't get it. So definitely take my advice. Be prepared. Be paying attention to these storms. Like I said a couple weeks ago, it's hurricane season. Now's the time to get your generators ready, get you some bottled water. Man, if we had to live on tomatoes, we got enough tomatoes in the garden. The wife tonight said, I said, what's the matter? She was like, I got to go deal with these tomatoes. I said, the tomatoes that's in the bucket that you already picked, or the tomatoes out there on the vine that you haven't picked? She said, both. I didn't tell her because, you know, You have to watch what you say, and there is times to say things to your spouse, and that was not the time to bring up, hey, you planted 200 tomato plants. What did you expect? Glenn says, plenty of birds up here in the north. Save some for us. 7 weeks. I don't know what 7 weeks is for, Jeff. I kind of got talking and then forgot about. I know you answered, and there's a delay, so 7 weeks. Maybe it's till season starts. I can take a guess. 7 weeks before you write the channel a big old check. Ah, man, thanks, Jeff. You're so sweet. But that's about all I got for tonight. Ain't a whole lot going on. Like I said, there is a lot going on. There's a lot going on in the background for the channel. September 1st. Yo, I thought you was probably talking about that. There is a lot going on. Like I said, there's 2 events that I'm going to be heading to. Definitely going to be some content there. So I think it's going to be a very interesting waterfowl season. So Jeff got yelled at by the Nightbot. I don't even know what it yelled at you for, Jeff. The Nightbot said, "Come on, stop spamming emojis," and gave you a warning. It's crazy that the Nightbot nanny gave you a warning. Good to see you too, Jeff. I'm glad you got to join tonight. With that being said, we've been on an hour. I'm gonna call it a night. I hope y'all stay safe. Like I said, there's a lot of bad weather out there. There's gonna be some more this weekend, especially with that tropical storm depression, whatever it is, that's been swirling around down there in the Gulf. Just stay safe with all the water. Pay attention. This day and age, you shouldn't be like, oh man, where did this rain come from? Where did this storm come from? We got plenty of apps that can tell you, hey, you're going to be in danger over the next couple of days. So, with that being said, y'all have a good rest of the week. I want to thank God for giving us the opportunity to be outdoors, and thank you for allowing us the time to spend in the outdoors. And I want to thank all y'all for all the support with this channel. And it's only going to get better. Like I said, I got some secrets that I'm holding on to that's got to work out all of the plans before I can announce it. And like I said, when it all comes out, I'm going to be giddy like a little schoolgirl. So until then, y'all watch the videos, stay tuned in, and y'all be safe. And I'll see y'all next week, next Wednesday, 8 p.m. I'll see y'all. And here's a word from our sponsors. Matthew Knight with Satura Investors out of Charlotte. There's the information. The link to his website is scrolling across the banner down at the bottom, and it's also in the description. Today's episode is about helping business owners and working professionals like you who share a passion for the outdoors, shooting sports, zeroing them in to their long-term financial goals. So if you need any information or contact or any other questions, contact Matthew. Also, go check out Salt Creek Ammo. This triple curl TSS is some of the best TSS I have ever shot. This is for waterfowl edition. It's made for waterfowl. So if you're going to shoot a species that you've been chasing for a long time, Don't use no cheap ammo. You pay good money to go on a trip. You got great guns. Don't cheap out on cheap ammunition. This TSS is amazing. It's got number 7s, number 8s, and he has number 9s. So go check out saltcreekammo.com. Here you will find any kind of ammo you're looking for. He has custom loads, TSS in 10 gauge, 12 gauge, 20 gauge, low pressure ammunition. You got predator ammunition, turkey ammunition, anything you're looking for, give Keith a call. Also to the channel, Kicks Industries, most people will know them as Kick Chokes, has came on board, and I have done a bunch of series lately on waterfowl choke tubes, turkey choke tubes, deer choke tubes. So go check out Kick's website for all of the chokes that can fit your guns. Flint Ridge Hauling Service, LLC, has partnered up with the channel. It is your go-to provider for all your hauling needs. They are not just any hauling service. They are an active DOT interstate hotshot hauling provider. Flint Ridge Service, LLC, prides itself in its reliable transportation services. This team ensures that your cargo is delivered safely and on time no matter the distance. Whether you need to transport goods across the county or state line, they have the capacity and the expertise to meet your hauling needs. Equipped with a smooth riding 40-foot air ride equipped trailer and a max hauling capacity of 20,000 pounds, there's no load too big or too small that they can't handle. Look no further than Flint Ridge Hauling Service, LLC.